Hello, folks. I am back with another firearms review, and this time it's going to be on a Hudson H9. This is a firearm that I've been looking forward to have in my collection because I like different, unique, and odd different types of firearms. And this is a firearm that marries the 1911 with the striker fire system, and so that this was something that I really wanted to get. Uh, just a brief history on this. This was a firearm that was created by a married couple by the name of Cy and Lauren Hudson. Unfortunately, the company is no longer in business because there was a lot of financial issues. There was a lot of problems with quality control, and the companies has folded. But I have good news at the end of the video. Let's get over to some stats about this firearm. First, the weight is 34 ounces because this is a all steel frame. They do make an alloy frame version of this. It came late just as they were going out of business. Um, it is 7.6 inches in total length. It's also has a barrel length of 4.2 inches, and the width of this firearm is going to be 1.24 inches. The height is going to be 5.2 inches. It comes with three magazines, 15 round magazines, and the front sight on here is going to be a Trigicon HD, as well as you're going to see a serrated rear U-notch sight, great for using if you want to rack the slide with a boot or a belt. One of the other things about this firearm is that it has some unique features on here. Uh, One of the things is the rail here for your accessory rail. If you notice it's not traditional like a 1911, but it has this that comes right through here, and it has a swoop right where the trigger guard is. So when I gripped this firearm, when I tried to shoot, I was trying to figure out what would be the perfect grip. So I kind of worked it out where if I can get it on camera, where this portion of my support hand pointing finger is right there. So it really gives a good type of grip right there, that swoop there. Also, right here, there's a high undercut right here to put uh, your middle finger as on your shooting hand on here, so it can give a good steady grip here. There is checkering in the front here. I don't know about the line per inches right here, but it is good checkering, but it's not deep. If they have G10 grips right here. Now, I'm not sure if these are compatible with certain 1911 style grips, so I will have to check that out at a later date. There's checkering in the back here. Now, I've noticed something here. If you look in the back here, there's a room for a lanyard loop right here. Now, usually lanyard loops are usually protrude out, but I noticed some companies like Kimber and other companies are starting to put these lanyard loops here. It makes you wonder, was Hudson going to market this for maybe some type of military or whatnot, but who knows? Uh, Also, if you're looking here, notice the beaver tail. The beaver tail is very good right here. It comes up very well. And you have your front serrations, your rear serrations. And one of the things is about this that you're going to notice, it looks like a mini RoboCop gun when you look at this, especially with the front. The reason why it's like that is because the recoil system is in here at the bottom, instead of traditionally this whole section here would be a little bit higher. Your dust cover and everything would be over in this portion, and right here your slide would be a little higher. And that the reason why it's made like that is so they wanted the slide as far low as possible, so you can get that real low borax as well, have a great shooting experience with the slide coming back with minimal to no rise or flip with this. It gives a decent push as the slide is going backwards and forwards here. One of the other things about this is the controls right here. I've noticed right here, I was worried about sometimes on the last shot hold open that a lot of people have no issues with that. One of the great things about it is it's one of the few firearms that I can reach with my thumb and also let the slide pop forward, and also in an ambidextrous way, and where the slide would actually pop forward. So that's what will happen there. And that's what you see there. I have my finger in the wrong position. That's why I paused the camera. Also, with this firearm, I just wanted to let everybody know I should have done this in the beginning so I wouldn't get in trouble. That this is a safe firearm. Uh, no rounds are in it. You know, should have done that earlier. However, the trigger on here is very unique, and one thing about the trigger is when you see this safety dingus right here, it's flat. It looks exactly like a 1911 flat or curve type trigger where it slides back. Now, one of the things I got confused about with when I was shooting this particular firearm is that the I was coming up too high for some reason, thinking that I had to put my trigger finger higher to deactivate this. I actually should have just put it in the one spot and it would have been perfect. But I went too high, and also it's a result in my shooting that it was the shots were going in the wrong spot. Again, sorry about pausing the camera, but I had to push this in and I had to get a tool to push this in. And what happens is to break it down, you move the takedown lever here, you release your slide, and you do need to pull the trigger to get the slide off. Now, as you see, there is the barrel right here. I can get that out. And if you notice, it's very well supported in this area. It kind of reminds me of when you break down a 90 Beretta 92, but there is a difference where everything is uh, no connection there. Also, if you look at the back, this is traditional of most striker fire firearms. Uh, you see the inside here. One of the main differences is if you look at this, there is a spring in here. They do not recommend you to take that fully apart and take the spring out. They only want you to break it down to this particular area here. Uh, and there has been some complaints about with some people when they were shooting their Hudsons that this particular string of this spring was shooting out, or if not the spring, the uh, the rod for this that holds the spring was shooting out during firing. So that was one of the issues that people were complaining about. And I saw another video where a guy what he did was he took to repair that. He took a pair of pliers and screwed it back in, even though it was protruding out a little bit. So if it's protruding out too far from the frame, and that was a common thing that I was seeing on YouTube, you were able to screw that in. I've never tried it, but I didn't have to. Everything seems tight and firm on here. This section here, if you usually have a striker fire firearm, you would see there's a opening here for the trigger system. Everything looks like it's sealed off, and internally your striker system is protected right there. Now that I got this back together, I wanted to share a couple different things. One of the things is, like I did mention, that there were some things about people were complaining about that what you would call your recoil spring guide rod. It would kind of like shoot out, and like I said, there were other people online that showed you how to repair that. One of the other things I've noticed is with the magazines. With the magazines, when you insert and take out the magazine, you notice on the left side there seems to be pretty much normal, but on the right side you'll notice this little scratch here. And it's not just on this magazine, it's on all the magazines here where you'll see that little scratch there. Now that has to probably do with your magazine release. I haven't had any problems, but it was noted by other people, and of course myself. You've noticed that there are some, those scratches are there. And like I said, I have had no issues, but it's still just to note as well. Uh, to get into the shooting experience with this, with the shooting experience that I had with this, I did shooting of a period of 2 days. Well, one of short 25 round shooting, and the other I did more than like 100 to 200 rounds. Now, one of the things that really confused me on was using these sights right here. Now, I had to have the sights very perfect to get my, at least to get point of aim. But one of the things that Patrick E. Kelly, he is a YouTuber, a competition shooter, he had noticed about the Hudson is where he had his point of aim is his rounds were coming low, and at 25 yards, they were not at the spot that he wanted them to be. They were really 4 inches south of where his point of aim was. Now, with me, I had an issue with it was lower than what I intended. Usually, when there's a target, I like to split the target in half and then try to go right through the middle. Now, unfortunately, the shots were coming lower, and I'll show you those on a target here. Now, this is one of my first targets. I was shooting 147 grain, I believe it was Federal, and these shots here, right here, the first 5 shots, I think it was either 5 or 6. 3 of them ended off the paper at 7 yards. Then I tried to adjust. I still came up low. What I had to do was put the target, instead of having a line here, have it way up here when I'm looking through my sight picture on the front sight. Now, the problem with that is at that distance, you don't even see the target itself. So it's all blocked by your sight in the front or the back here. So I literally cannot see the red on this target. It was all covered up. So if I were to lower it halfway, it would be too low. And this is how I got there. This is only 25 shots. So you see me playing around with aiming, trying to go up higher and then trying to come down lower. Now, the problem that I was also having with this, there were 3 malfunctions. Now, I'm going to say the first 2 were ammo related. Like I said, I was using 147 grain Federal range ammo. And what happened was the round went inside. I can show that the round went inside the casing. If this will focus, the round went inside and the casing got expanded. And I had to get a knife to pull the casing out. So after some tugging and pulling, the casing had expanded. Now, the other 2 malfunctions, they were double feeds. The casing didn't really extract properly. I had the one round touching the casing, which I did my immediate action drills and got that. So that was one of the other ones. The other one was the round that was trying to go up the ramp, was cocked up and it was stuck in there. So those were the only 2 malfunctions out of that shooting session. Now, going to the following day, changing ammo, I was using Federal again, but 115 grain. Again, I had the problem, and this distance here, I did mention that this one was 7 yards. This distance is here is a combination of 10 and 15 yards. Now, believe it or not, the ones the shots at 10 yards were these right here. Attribute some of all this stupid stuff right here. My grip was off. So at 15 yards, as I pushed it back, I was able to get into the area here with the headshots. Now, the first shots that I was going for the headshots at 15 yards, as you see, I aimed a little high. Again, a little grip problems, and of course, I shot off the paper altogether. So it requires a little bit of a learning curve on the sights. I've heard of some people deciding to um, put different sights on these to so they can have a better visibility. I will say this, that with this firearm is extremely flat shooting. Once you get a good sight picture with this and figure out where it is a very, very good pistol. Unfortunately, I would not use this as a pistol to stake my life with at this point. Um, it, because of the history of the malfunctions, the quality control issues, and like I said, it's a good range toy, good, I would say, uh, collection piece. And that's what this mainly is a collection piece because I like odd stuff. Like I said, I would never ever use this as a self defense firearm. However, what I will say about this is that I heard that Daniel Defense is going to be taking over the patents from Hudson. And what they'll do is, I'm waiting to see what they would do because they would really, I guess, with their expertise, especially with all their firearms, the M18, not the M18s, but the Mark 18s. You know them from AR pistols and rifles. They are a very good American company. So hopefully they can save this firearm, which was American made, and hopefully they can make the proper adjustments that should happen. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, if the company's out of business, what are you going to do with parts? There are a couple, about 3 or 4 companies. One is very popular. I'm sorry I don't have the name, but what they do is they had the parts ready available for if there's anything that you need to repair or do anything with your current Hudson, because there's a lot of Hudson owners out there. So things are looking up. I want to see this firearm uh, be successful. I really do because I really like it in the sense of its ingenuity and the way it shoots flat. But I'm hoping that Daniel Defense will uh, take on this project, work with this firearm, and hopefully this will make a big turnaround. Maybe they can make different firearms like a compact or whatnot, but we'll see. All right, folks, that's all I have right now. I just want to thank everybody for watching this video, put up with this, and happy shooting. Stay safe. #2A.